What's up? It's Jimmy Mitchell, U slash JFMV73 here with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast where we look at the post from the Libertarian Uncensored subreddits for the past 24 hours and just kind of discuss them, Let's see what we have. Okay, so first we have some of you fuckers the past few days from your state officer. It's an imgur link from, it's a picture of a boomer guy, Fox News logo. He says, "We are lying to you," and the boomer guy says, "No, you're not." I think all kind of media lies to you, It's everyone, I would say everyone lies to you to some extent these days, We live in a world where I would say, everyone could be potentially lying to you at any second. You have to decide who to trust and who not to trust, and that's really important when it comes to social media, We'll have to see, how it turns out. Let's see. Florida Surgeon General altered key findings in study on COVID-19 vaccine safety. From Politico.com by Whitling Dan. I think all these, all studies can be altered. That's the thing. That's what you think. You can, these days I think, people have a narrative first and they make the science try and fit that narrative, I would say. I definitely think people try and cherry pick data to fit their narratives rather than be truly objective. I don't believe that. I believe very, very few people, if any, are truly objective these days, and I think that's important to remember. How most people, including in science, just want to sell you a narrative rather than sell you facts. Next, we have Libertarian Subverting Censorship. It's by Motherfucking Inc. It's a link to a tweet from Goodable. The Brooklyn Public Library has announced that any teenager in America is now eligible for a Brooklyn Public Library card. Teens can sign out ebooks and audiobooks right wherever they live. The movie is designed to combat censorship with some titles listed as always available. I guess that's good, Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they don't have any terribly sexual content in there. But if the parents are good with it, I guess I guess that's the thing. The internet kind of makes I would say books kind of ebooks kind of like less important than ever. So I think the internet really just kind of. I think the internet really just kind of goes against a lot of. They're saying, "Oh, we gotta get the bad content out of schools," but there's just a lot of kids will probably see on the internet anyway. That's what I think on that issue. I do think you probably shouldn't have all that crazy sexual content, especially in the elementary, middle schools, and maybe the high schools as well. I don't know. I think those kids are a little more mature in the high school, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah. I'm very anti-censorship, I would say, so I guess this is decent, I guess. So next we have forced participation in religious activities can be classified as child abuse in Japan. That's what fighting against authoritarian grooming looks like. Viva Liberty by Chi-Town 20, and this is from the Straits Times. And I guess, child abuse is a term that those in power can define it however they want. I personally don't think anyone should be forced to do anything, but yeah, I don't know how they're going to define force here. That's the thing, you always have to remember how they're going to define words. They can define force however they want to. But we'll see how they define force and how this is enforced. That's the fucking flaws. It doesn't matter what the laws actually are. It matters how they're enforced, and I think that's really important to remember. Next we have not having debates is undemocratic and ridiculous by Motherfucking Inc. And this is a tweet from Cenk Uyghur of the Young Turks. He tweeted, DNC has already announced that will not allow any debates in 2024 primary. Biden is not to be challenged. Everyone on the Democratic side must shut up and fall in line. Not having debates is undemocratic and ridiculous. No progressives should agree to this kind of power grab. Now, I disagree with Cenk a lot, but I think he's correct here, I think both, the Democrats are definitely lining up for Biden to get the nomination. I think the Republicans are either lining up for Trump or DeSantis to get the nomination. They're not going to have too many debates. The Republicans didn't have any debates last time when Trump was the incumbent. Really, they did have some unofficial debates that Trump didn't attend, but I think it's important always to have debates. And a lot of times a lot of people just don't want to have debates anymore because they just want to know that they'll be used to make them look bad. So that's why I think you're seeing them kind of die out, especially in the age of social media. Next, we have OFFS Florida. How low the bar now? You find an oil down there. From USA Today by Tom Fertina. It's an article about. Let's see what this is. Girls need to know about their periods. Now Florida Republicans want to ban that too. It's pretty typical Florida bad stuff. You got that a lot on Reddit. Because they don't really like how DeSantis is kind of going against the liberal circle jerk. But I personally think schools should be able to teach whatever the parents feel comfortable with, and yeah, that's what I think on the issue. I personally don't really care for the school system. I've been open about that in the past. I think schools are to some degree going to be indoctrination, regardless of how much or how much they try to be. So I think that's important to remember. What kind of agenda what does each school have? So we're hopefully that we can look at that and think about that. Yeah. Next we have U.S. judge who ruled in favor of church in QB's case donated to archdiocese. Republicans, not drag queens, from The Guardian. Of course, all the judges are corrupt. I've been very clear on that position. Next is that was by Chi-Town. Next is Stossel confronts a professor from John Stossel on YouTube. I posted that. It was the marketing professor says, "Oh, you don't have to learn. You have to learn how to speak English properly because that's colonialism or something. I don't know. They always have some justification for it. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I think you can speak however you want, but I do think you should try and speak. If people want you to speak more formally, they should be able to. If people speak more casually, or I think you should be able to. So I think speech is very much in the eye of the beholder these days. I think you're slowly seeing speech just increasingly get speech increasingly separated by ideology these days. But I think so. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if by the end of the century that the people will still be able to understand each other if they have different political ideologies. But we'll see how that happens. You already kind of see that in every generation with the grandparents and grandchildren because of the age difference and how the culture changes. But we'll see what happens. Next, we have Biden announces 2024 re-election bid. Let's finish this job by the AP, and I posted that. I think he's probably gonna be your nominee regardless of if he lives or not. They'll just weaken at Bernie's him if he doesn't. Put some sunglasses on him. I don't think too many people would notice. So yeah, he's gonna be your nominee. I think in 2024 it's kind of inevitable. Next, we have one of the last shows of Tucker Carlson on Fox, calling out the American authoritarian regime's war machine and the ineffectiveness of masks and vaccines. Big War and Big Pharma are big mad. It's from a YouTube by Chad Muffin. Yeah, I like Tucker. I don't like some of his. It can be some of his views I disagree with. Like he can be a little too pro-Trump free, his economic views I think are almost borderline socialist. I would say, but I think he was. I liked him on calling out the war machine and calling out the war machine in the U.S. security state. I really appreciated that, and I think it's gonna be sad. Hopefully, I think he'll find a new platform easily, though, as we kind of talked about in the last episode. So I don't think it's reason to be sad for too long. Then I posted some polls since Biden declared for the presidency of each of the major parties and the Libertarian Party. How how people would vote for each candidate in the primary. So first we have the Democratic Party, and this poll I have, let's see, the 5 candidates are Biden, Marianne Williamson, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Joe Exotic, Jerome Segal, and other. Those are the 5 candidates running currently. Segal has no votes. Joe Exotic has 2 votes. Marianne Williamson has 1 vote. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has 3 votes, and Joe Biden has 5 votes. Crazy that people are still voting for Joe Biden. I said, I can't believe Biden is winning after the past few years. I guess it's fitting since Trump is winning the Republican poll currently. I guess people really just prefer to stick with the evil they know or the evil they don't. But we'll see how that goes. So let's check out the Republican poll now. I think Trump isn't leading that anymore. Let's see. Yeah, it's Uver has 3 votes. Trump has 2 votes. Larry Elder has 1 vote. Nikki Haley, Asa Hutchinson, and Vivek Ramaswamy each have 2 votes. So everyone seems to be tied there. I personally voted for Ramaswamy. I like how he's kind of younger, kind of seems to knows kind of what he's doing with making government smaller compared to the other candidates. Especially, but I think I'd go for pretty much anyone up there, but Trump. Maybe I think Elder would be fun. Hutchinson seems pretty libertarian, but he was the head of the DEA for a few years, so I think that's kind of a disclaimer. Haley, don't really like her too much, but we'll see if she can make it. I think Trump's probably the favorite. And and the other votes were 3 votes forever compared to Democrats. A lot of votes forever too. I think the Democrats had 4 votes forever. And on the Democratic poll, I voted for Williamson because I just think he seems nice compared to the other ones. I guess. I mean, Gerald Segal is a socialist. Joe Exotic. I might vote for Joe Exotic. RFK Jr. Yeah, he's interesting. I don't really like. I like his uncle and father, but I don't know. I don't really. Not. I think he's good. I'd probably vote for. I'd probably vote for him over a few other Republican candidates, but I'm probably gonna vote for Libertarian regardless. Let's see. We have Libertarian Party. So no votes for Jacob Hornberger and Lars Mapstead. 1 vote for Mike Termat. That's for me. 6 votes for Chase Oliver and 8 votes for Uver. I personally voted for Termat because he came to one of my Libertarian County meetings one time. So yeah, a lot of people voting for Oliver. Some top comment is hoping Amash runs, so we'll see how that goes as that field continues to widen. And then we have a tweet from Spike Cohen by me. Over the weekend, Joe Biden declared that to Congress that he was sending U.S. troops to fight in Africa. He said that more will also possibly be sent in the future, and the troops will remain there indefinitely. The U.S. war machine continues to grow. That's the thing. The U.S. has pretty much troops in every country. It's really not newsworthy anymore. So the thing is, though, it's like you don't want to ever have Benghazi again, but especially if I think you might have another Benghazi in Sudan soon, it looks like. But we'll see how that goes and if that is going to happen or not. Hopefully it doesn't, but we'll see what happens. Next we have Our Democracy is Always Code for Our Hegemony by Michael Malice from Twitter, and I posted that. Yeah, I think, we're always going to have some kind of hegemony, but this hegemony, I think the current American hegemony is pretty bad. Let's see. What did I say? Yeah, I think, it's pretty bad currently, so next we'll see Justin Trudeau, who implemented some of the most brutal vaccine mandates on earth and punished anyone who opposed it. Now claims that he never forced the shot on anyone. When politicians can't beat the truth, they try to join you. Don't let them. And that's a Spike Cohen tweet by me. And yeah, I definitely don't like Biden, Trump, or any of the recent presidents since FDR took office. But I definitely shit on those guys a lot. But every day I'm thankful I live south of the border instead of north of it because Trudeau's household just seems kind of crazy. Next we have Deplatforming Works and It's Important. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez smugly celebrates Fox News terminating Tucker Carlson by E. Miles Cheong. She also, I said, what did I say? Of course, she had to bring up Marvel. She says, it's like a Marvel movie, the post-credit sequence from Marvel where he's going to come right back. Of course, they always have to reference their pop culture, the young people. Uh, yeah, I think you shouldn't be justifying deplatforming people. I think we need to support free speech. And you're not entitled to a platform. I think we need to entitle as many people as a platform if they want it, because I think that's what supporting free speech is, and that's what I generally believe. Because you need to support open debate and free speech. You just can't say, "Oh, we needed to platform people we disagree with," because that turns into anyone who questions you at all gets deplatformed. It's like 1984. Sid Miller issues anti-trans dress code for state agricultural department from TexasTribune.org /NinjaLover. And I said, I don't believe in dress codes. You should be able to wear whatever you want, even if it's nothing at all. If you don't like what someone else wears, you are free to stigmatize it. That's my thoughts on the issue. I think, you shouldn't. I personally don't care for a lot of the pro transgender or anti transgender circle jerk, but I do believe that people should be able to dress however they want and get whatever medical care they want as long as they're of age, because I think that's kind of the war on drugs. So, I think if you want to get all these crazy surgeries and you're of age, I think you should be able to. I'm a little less confident of getting the people underage getting it, but maybe yeah, we'll see how that goes. I hopefully we'll see that hopefully that go away soon, and yeah, so yeah, because I don't know if kids can consent to all these surgeries, especially if they're non-life saving. Next, we have Shell admits 1.5 Celsius climate goal means immediate end to fossil fuel growth from Resilience.org by Frosty Slowman. And yeah, I don't really think these are gonna it's gonna work. They always say, "Oh, we're gonna um do all this," but yeah, hopefully that doesn't work. And Shell, of course, they just want to sell oil, so we'll see how that works. We have Remembrance of the Armenian Genocide by Mel Huggin Inc. It's a picture of Ottoman Empire history, 1914, and it's the book's 1914. Then 1915, the book says it's completely on it, recognizing Armenian Genocide, 1915, 1916, 1919. Yeah, I think the Armenian Genocide, I think all the states recognize it now, and the federal government does too, so the U.S. has definitely made progress there, so hopefully, I definitely think we need to look at that and remember how important that is, and how we shouldn't do genocide. Next, we have transgender Montana lawmaker Zoe Zephyr was again prevented from taking part in a debate over a measure banning gender affirming care while riot police forcibly removed everyone in the gallery by motherfucking Inc. I don't really care about Zoe Zephyr on some issues, but I do believe in free speech, and I definitely don't want to think they'll use this as online as a means to say, "Oh, you're anti-transgender," and that's always important to remember. So I think you just gotta have free speech, and they might say shitty stuff, and they might disagree with, but you gotta support free speech. I think, especially when it comes to debate in like government buildings, and especially among elected lawmakers. Let's see. Next, we have Tucker Carlson looking for a deal with network to allow him to cite the first 14 words on air from the Hard Times on Net by Ninja Lover. That's, of course, satire. The Hard Times is a satire website. And, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think Dr. Carlson is as white nationalist as a lot of the left likes to portray him, but yeah, I don't really think he's too white nationalist, but um, I guess you could argue he panders to them sometimes, but I personally wouldn't agree with that. I think Tucker's he'll find a good job. Next we have let's see. Bank of England capitalist economist says people need to accept their poor due to capitalism functioning successfully, from the BBC by Chi-Town. Yeah, I posted that too. It's the economists and the media, the elites, the elite class, and the expert class are no one hates the poor and the middle class more than those guys. And they say, oh, you have to be poor, you have to function poor. I guess they really don't. Um, they really don't like. They really just say whatever they want, and that's kind of probably why people are so bitter these days. I would say because they can just yell at you and say whatever they want. Next is San Diego Sheriff Deputy caught red-handed as a pedophile by private investigator via Snapchat records, not a drag queen, by Chi-Town. Of course, he's always Chi-Town always likes to say, "Oh, everyone's not everyone who's a drag queen, not a drag queen is a pedophile." But at this point, he has an agenda. We all have an agenda, and I think that's important to remember. Next, we have Who is the Real Thief by Chi-Town. It's a meme. Stealing $2,500 of stuff from a company is a crime. 20 years in jail. Revoking right to work. Stealing $130,000 from employee paychecks not a crime. Grace period to repay. Can still buy politicians. Yeah, that's pirates and emperors for you. Stealing is illegal, but stealing when it comes to more abstract ideas like wage theft, you can say you can get away with it. I personally, that's why I personally care much more about small business than big business. I really don't care too much for big business, I would say, because they can get away with a lot more scummy stuff like that. Then we have Anthony Fauci says don't blame him for COVID lockdowns and school closures from Reason. I posted that. I said if I had court for every time that this guy gaslighted me, I'll be a billionaire. Yeah, Anthony Fauci loves to gaslight. He always says, "Oh, I didn't say anything about lockdowns. No, that was not me." And you gotta catch him. Gotta catch him. Say it was you, Anthony Fauci. We got you. And if there is, and hopefully we will prosecute you one day. But I don't know if that will happen. But hopefully, ethics are to come by for these anti-road judges by Chi-Town. It's a meme of Neil Gorsuch secretly sold property to allow a firm that had cases before the court. I personally don't. I said in fairness, pro ones probably don't have any ethics as well. They of course downvoted that because their side's good, the other side is bad. Of course, that's not how things work. Most people are gray and gray. Most people seemingly be extremely dark gray these days, especially with everyone fighting to survive. It seems. A Twitter user made a list of all the accounts they consider to be transphobic by me, and that was a list of a Twitter user from GitHub. They had, I think, 40,000 accounts they considered to be transphobic. And I think I think some people are saying, oh, the government's making a list of people who are LGBTQ, but I don't know. You got lists like this too, and I don't think making enemies list is good. I don't think it was good when Nixon was doing it. I certainly don't think it's now. And it was 42,775 accounts. Or I don't know if the first line was an account. No, it was 42,074. The first line wasn't an account. So I don't think you should be making a list of all the people who you disagree with because I don't think this is a good thing to do because it's just kind of a little a little loopy there. You don't want to go say all these people disagree with me, go attack them. It's that's not how a society works. I don't think you just can't say it. Then we have "Ew" by Muff Huggin. It's a tweet from a Tiffany at Tough Tiff Resist. Lawson Abbey Grossberg lawsuit was this nugget where Tucker was musing about statutory rape and sexual activity of 14-year-old girls. Whether my daughter, I would love that scenario. Everyone kind of seems to be. It really does seem like everyone seems to be a pedophile these days. Next we have. Yeah, I agree with this one guy. Isn't really libertarian. He's never seemingly endless posts from half-wit political partisans. I agree with that. Next, we have Trump threatens to boycott Republican presidential debates from Bloomberg. Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to he doesn't really need to do them. He'll probably win regardless, but we'll see. That's why I don't think might get any debates this cycle, so we'll see how that goes. Then we have Glenn Green.